Hello everyone, we are here to do an update. I have had the most interesting morning and I'm trying to multitask, so I'm going to try and get my stuff out of my car. And we're going to have a bit of a chat about this energy at the moment. And I had this very unique experience and my face is all increased. I just spoke to Giggle and I've spoken to Deb and Fem Coach and you name it, I've talked. Now, at the moment, a lot of people are wondering why we're having such a hard time. You're going to find the younger generation, the older generation, everyone collectively is feeling it. You know, the other day someone said to me, if you're not coping, why don't you take medication? I'm just being honest, okay? Now, there are a lot of people, and one thing I've noticed in my life, and this has been something I used years ago, is that you get to a point where can I sit? I'll balance you on my iced coffee. Yeah, well, psychics should always be having a wall behind them, apparently. Hello, my beautiful. So, the one thing I've noticed, and I hope it's not echoing too much, there has been a common theme at the moment, and everyone collectively has been feeling very depressed. Now, yes, it is linking into the Pisces moon. We had the sun in Pisces, we had the moon in Pisces, we had the Mercury energy, we had a lot of Aries energy. The super full moon in Virgo is deemed as Chiron energy again, and it being a super moon, it'll be extremely large. Now, the one thing that I've noticed with health and wealth will affect you, okay? So when you're looking at your finances and you're feeling very depressed, very run down, it's because there is an energy that is out of alignment. 9 times out of 10, what you will find is that there is certain things you can do, which is truth, okay? So you need to come to an honest place in life of where you are. And yes, there can be things that can be coming up. And a lot of us do feel disempowered at the moment, you know, because you could be quite fatigued. And during ascension symptoms, you will feel in general fatigued. You feel like, you know, you just feel fatigued. There can be energies coming up during this process that you do feel quite disillusioned because it is a Neptune, right? Because Pisces is a Neptune and it's the dream state, but it's the disillusionment. It's the reality check. It's checking in with where you're at in your life. Now, when you are experiencing those things, when you are experiencing those things, I know Mark has been experiencing it in his family. I know I have been experiencing it on my side of the family. My partner, he sees situations happening in his life. My siblings, Fem Coach has been. We're really evolving and changing. So people that have done a lot of work, there you go, because your body's getting run down. Now the masculine energy inside us is very overactive at the moment, and all of us collectively have moved into a very feminine, the intuition, potentially the ego, but then coming back to it and tuning into things of what doesn't feel in alignment for us. So it is like a soul walk-in. We're having a transformation. And when we're going through this, and I didn't realize we'd be talking about the Pisces moon so bloody long, but yeah, we feel it. I mean, look at my eyes. There are days where you don't put makeup on. There are days where you just don't feel like dealing. Male energies are feeling very fatigued. They feel out of alignment as well. There is a lot of fear-based frequency coming up. There's headaches because it's moving from the third eye into, you know, your ego or your thought process about it and your thinking on it. And it's not that the detachment is so you can look at this situation rationally. And the one thing I found that was so crazy over the years is anytime I got to this state, it was because directly I was doing something that I didn't want to do. How many of you in the house are doing something you don't want to do? What do you feel would need to shift? Do you feel accountable? Do you feel you have an obligation? Do you feel people are codependent on you? Are you feeling that you are God? Do you feel you are letting people down? All of these things can come up, and a lot of the time alignment is, you know, most of the Buddhist monks will come to a space where they will say, you lovingly understand understand a person's path and you lovingly understand, where the pain is, but you can't own it, right? And empaths do accidentally do this. At the moment, I would say there is a lot of detachment with people. There's a lot of victim consciousness going on. And yes, in fact, you have been that person at some point and you're coming to terms with that, but you're also getting to a place where even if you wanted to fight for something, alignment is you don't have to fight for what already is yours. Some of you may be in a home environment and you may not be happy. Some of you may have a family-related dynamic and you may not be happy. Some of you are looking at your work and you're thinking, gee, I'm not so happy with this. I'm feeling very fatigued. I'm trying to be something that, conditioning has made you be, but potentially right now you're unable to do it. 9 times out of 10, people that have huge expectations on themselves will go to work even if they feel crap. And alignment is everything. You are unable to give your job 100% if you're not feeling well in that day. And we deem that as chucking a sickie, but it's being if you are being good to you and you're totally out of alignment and you need to take a day, it is healthier for the workplace and the environment to have that as a reality. Because mental health, wealth, and when I'm saying mental health, I'm not a doctor. Don't take any of this energy as such. That is separate. That's a different domain. But checking in with your alignment of what feels correct for you and owning that and following it through is extremely important. Sometimes the only thing you directly are taking into consideration is what the external wants from you. And the important thing with the Pisces moon is the battle with that at the moment. And it's, even if you wanted to do that for other people, is it the bigger picture and can it be there at a permanency? Or is it something that you're only delaying the inevitability at? Especially when you have ascension symptoms, you're getting fatigued, you could be getting depressed because you're doing eat, pray, repeat. If that isn't working with you, and especially I will say this, a lot of female energies will do that for a long time before they've tapped out. Male energies also do such because they feel it's an obligation. Not one person on this planet can do that permanently. If it's in alignment and it's working, and you have the commitment in it, you have the love and the vibration, you will pour that energy, the solar plexus and the sacral chakra into it. But if you don't, your energy will deplete. Like I said, it is feeling very singular at the moment where there is not support. You're needing to pick your soul tribe of who to communicate with to get the support with. And sometimes even inside your family, you will be able to get that at the moment. You may not be able to get it from a partner. You might not be able to get it from a family member. But you do need to hunt out that energy so you can actually speak your truth, maybe process through the information. The Virgo moon's going to assist that, but we still have the residue energy, and I do feel it will play out all the way through March. Not that we're going to have that energy like this, but we're going to be processing of that, of what we're cycling out of, what we feel spiritually connected to, what is out of spiritual alignment, where our ego was, and maybe we needed to look at a dream and reassess it. And so it does feel like an overhaul of life altogether. Anyone relating? Silence in the house. It's very quiet here at the moment. I've got the Virgo reading to do shortly, so I'm persevering through. So how has everyone been feeling? How are you today, Mark, from Intuitive Perceptions? How are you feeling? The exhaustion's there, the frustrated, but, name a few things that some of you are going through that you're really struggling with. What is it? Is it house? Is it wealth? Is it, relationships? Because we've got Juno in Libra and it's in retrograde till May. So we're really assessing all our contracts in life, and this is for everyone collectively. And yes, it does fall in different houses, but at a collective level, yes, we are looking at that. Yeah, it is death and rebirth, but any cycles we're ending, especially in a new moon energy phase, you got both energies. You got your ending an old belief system because it's crown chakra, and you're also the energy of you're starting that new chapter. But do I dare to dream? Is that dream relevant? Is it a potentiality? Is that dream? Was the dream that you had previously put on pause, and is that why you are cross? It's like put. You might have had the tolerance a long time to have dreams on pause, and maybe some of you might be feeling that you're thinking, having to have these side-swiping energies play out where you've put your life on hold to a degree, and then you're looking at it going, okay, that's been a lot longer than I anticipated. And really needing to come back to where you are, assess the map of what you've been looking at, and then really having to eliminate certain situations. And I do find that if you can look at your routine, the one thing that I used to be balanced is go with your body. Okay, so you need to listen to your body and allow it to come up. You need to get adequate sleep. When you're really in your third eye, you will find it very difficult to sleep, but you need to allow your body to rest. You also need to go into nurture mode of self. Yeah, no, but everyone's going through this, love. So be it you're a twin flame or not, you will be going through this. And I have chatted with quite a few channels privately last night because I was thinking, okay, I need to check if this is collective energy. Some people might be doing this from a slighter perspective because they're not as awoken. But if empaths and people that have been on an awakened path for a while, you guys will be deeply, deeply psychic. So you're going to feel this energy very heavily so. But because you're having an upgrade and you're looking at distorted energies, you're looking at people at lower frequency, you're trying to upgrade, it's a bit like going to work and not getting a cash component out of it. At some point you're going to get a bit peeved about it because you're going to be thinking, and you can get into your ego because you feel it a 3D, you're seeing something and you think you're doing all the work and somebody else isn't. We can't ever tune into what another person's doing. You at all times have to come back to self and say, okay, where am I at in my spiritual path? Because if you're not happy, ain't no one going to be happy. And it's time to come back to self, and it's time to start looking at these things of what would need to shift for that to be there. Now, while you're tired, it's hard, but it's the downloads you're getting between now and the Virgo moon. So if you're not happy with something, you may be hoping that another person would make decisions for you. You have to look back into your inner child of the energy where you have direct creativity. You may find also with this purge that we do need to balance again. And I had been mentioning this at the end of 2019. A lot of the energy that was coming through was the lower chakras. And it doesn't mean to say that you've not ascended, above the other chakras. But when you're holding space at a collective level, what you can tend to find is subject matters will play out. And we've got the nodes in Cancer and Capricorn. So a lot of these themes, because we're going to have the nodes end in May, we're having the nodes change over to Sagittarius and Gemini. The themes are going to change, but you're going to have two energies simultaneously moving through. Because we're ending that cycle, it's almost like, what are your new findings with work, with the role of being responsible, with the role of being a family member, with what family means, with what your hopes and dreams pertaining to balancing those two energies out are going to mean, and where have you been standing in your way? If you've been hoping somebody else will do something for you, but you have not done it, you'll even get it to the point where it's shredding it away like an onion, even further so, to the point you realize this has never been about anyone else but directly you. And that is alignment. We cannot do things for other people. We might have a spiritual intent and an investment in a path, which is, if it's divinely guided, yes, it's always going to be such, but alignment is always being authentic and honest and sitting in that energy, meditating upon it. There has been triggers where you might have been aggressive. You may have been... Then are you in alignment? Are you not? And it is just because of the Pisces frequency right now. Do remember that Neptune is in Pisces, which is, delusions, illusions. When we had Chiron in Pisces, there were a lot of people that went back to, using vices to cope with the depression, to cope with the emotions that would come up at a spiritual level that was linked into astrology. And when I was working with a gentleman that was working in rehabilitations, thanks, sweet, he actually did say a lot of people during that time of the end of 2017, moving through to the end of 2018, were regressing back and actually using vices to cope with the experience. So we're having a revisit of that energy, and it can feel very distorted. You might need to use something to just calm yourself down, but you're better off to, it's funny because you feel fatigued, but you can't sleep. So you might as well balance the solar plexus and sacral chakra and go for a walk. Get the fresh air, get the vitamin D. What you can control, only focus on. And then if you're having a meditated state, go back to that and think on that, but only give it the grace of the time it requires, and then step back into relaxing, and then step back into action, okay? You need to start getting this into balance, because you do have power, and you need to shift the focus off what isn't working just for a little bit. You acknowledge it and you know what that is. But take the focus off that, disable that for a moment, and shift the energy back onto you. You also are needing to really balance the masculine and the feminine energy at the moment, because the intuition is over. The intuition at the moment is in overdrive, and a lot of feminines have been in a lot of masculine energy. That's because they've been in hunter-gatherer mode. They've been supporting themselves. They've been helping their, if you've got children, you've been doing the children work, you've been doing masculine work. You may not have had enough time to do your spiritual practice, which is to be cared for. That can be something that has been coming up for a lot of people, where they feel almost like they need saving. And it can be a very real 3D situation. If you've been at all times the go-to person, that power's been taken from you, so people can't directly be enabled. Yeah. But we need to actually allow these things to come up. We need to. So as much as some of us are at that point, am I going, no, breathe, take a moment, tune into something else. I mean, I tried to draw on a piece of paper the other day, and I was like, it's not working. Okay, it's not working. Try to get a bit of the yin and yang. So a little bit of download, because it's heavy. Be in that emotion. Go talk to somebody if you need to. You don't want to keep it in. It has to come out. If you need to punching back, try to use a healthy vice, but you do need to address it. So what's going to happen is, if you know something's a problem and it doesn't get removed, yes, the depression is going to be there, because you're doing something that is, you're doing something when it's not working. Okay, so if something's not working, you need to come back to the table. You need to look at it and go, okay, is there a solution to this? And if there's not a solution, tap out of it for a bit. Don't look at it. And then come back to it and reassess it. As we move into the Virgo moon, we'll have more solutions. But at the moment, you've got to have the healthy balance with that. You can't tap out to the point where you can't look at it, because it is inside there. And I did mention this at the beginning of the year to a friend of mine who's a spiritual healer. And I said, I can sense this vibration. And I did mention at the beginning of the month that the energy was coming from the solar plexus inside of divine masculine. They're governed by the solar plexus, but it's off to the right. Mercury energy, the throat chakra, and the crown chakra. Speaking their truth is a subject matter that's coming up. So if you're telepathic or psychic, you will be tuning into the energy around you, but it will be on your own masculine energy as well, where maybe you've been doing so much that you're unable to balance other energies in your life. So it's a yin and yang out of balance energy. Also, in assessing what's directly in front of you at the moment is becoming problematic, because something feels like it's a block in the path and it's not matching potentially what the Neptunian dream energy was. And so you're directly looking at that now going, okay, this does need to be addressed. Some of you might go to sweep it under the carpet at a temporary level and just deal, and then it comes back again. It's coming up for a reason. It needs to be looked at. I'm hearing the term consequence for an action. Now, many of us have been too conditioned to believe that we are to, at all times, how do I put it? We're not God. So our ego believes we have control. Our ego believes we know the best way. Our body vibrationally tells us what's yes, what's no. But when we don't listen to that, and it's not directly respected, it can affect your health, and it will affect other vibrations. Now, like I said, do remember the nodes are in Cancer and Capricorn. All of us for 2.5 years were dealing with that vibration. We're ending this cycle now. So our new findings, our new learnings are going to come up, but we will have the continuation on of the eclipses in those energies. So it'll still be sifting and cycling those things out. I do feel that male energies are coming to a place in their own personal lives, and this doesn't have to be twin flame related. This is happening to the collective, where they're looking at their life and they're wondering what their role is in society. And this is a very a painful energy for them, because if they had done everything that was traditionally meant to be when they got themselves in any situation, and they've tried then to deal with things or had a belief that maybe they wanted to prevent that. There's some people in life, especially with those of us born in the energy of Aries energy, which would have been in the 70s, 60s, those of us that were born around that time, it was very much, you were born into a time in a family where, mother and father, there was the empath energy there, and it was the role of family. That's what we knew. But we were not cupcaked. Let's just put it straight. A lot in society's changed. There's no smacking children. There's no, a lot more power has been taken off the family routine. Families stayed together, then breakups started occurring, and these new roles have come through in society. And we're seeing how that directly doesn't work, and these can be blended families and how those things directly work. Our health and where we can get support. Children in situations when you're working full-time, being a masculine and a feminine, and it might have been something that you had in your life. It doesn't have to be that you directly are doing that right now, but you may have had that experience. So these things simply aren't working, and that's why the nodes in Cancer and Capricorn are there to show us how society and laws, legislations, rules were there around the time of the Dark Ages, where relationships were together forever. Families lived very close by, where the pressure on the medical system wasn't there, and you would look after your elders. All of these things have really changed. They've changed a lot, but we have not changed. Like the paradigm hasn't changed. The direct reality, it's a bit like the gunk at the bottom of the barrel, Chiron and Aries. It's down there, and it's growing and growing and growing and mounting, but it hasn't been addressed. And we're all trying to collectively find a healthy way of doing this when, society can be government rules, legislations, marriages, contracts, partnerships just don't fit the new version of what's going on. So the deep struggle is for the lower people, that they're trying to look at those things and make those things work. You could be trying to be a therapist, a doctor, a lawyer, a mediator, a worker, a mother, a person, and it's just, you can't do all of those things. It's just, you weren't meant to do all of these things. Does this make sense? So if you're staying in a situation due to a paradigm, it's simply not going to work. It's going to keep coming up for you. If you are feeling that you have not done enough yet, you feel energetically you have, there's nothing you can do. It's coming up in your body or it field. If you're being fatigued to the point where you're being removed from a situation to not be able to do anything any longer due to health, again, that can be to rectify the balance of it. But our ego is saying, I've got to keep going, I've got to keep going. But the environment is being moved because it's an imbalanced energy. Does this make sense? But you're looking at it going, oh my gosh, Penny Little, the sky's falling down. Yeah, sometimes Mother Nature knows best. Mother Nature really does know best, but we fight against it because we believe we know best. You can't fight what's true. Any questions while I'm here? Are we feeling a little bit more grounded now that I've had a chat with you? I feel like I want to be, what's that man's name? I don't know, this song just come to mind. What's his name? I loved him. He was a singer and he used to wear glasses all the time. I just called to say I love you. I was just watching you. That's okay. Oh, I love you, Stella. I love my beautiful Stella. I'm so very blessed to have you guys. Very, very blessed to have you. You're all like family to me. Yeah, I was just hearing that song in my head like, Stevie Wonder, you know, I just called to, I was thinking, oh, yeah, it's like, I'm like, oh, something, you know, maybe why? Because we don't want to say some things. It's like, I've seen too much of this. I don't want to see it anymore. Yeah, it's sad. You know, some of these things are sad. We're trying to upgrade our energies. We're trying to get the balance back. We're being loving, compassionate, understanding. And it's like you're getting spent to the point there's nothing more to give. And that's very, very sad, you know. And you must sit there. And I know it has swapped. So it comes up in me energetically as an empath because I'm a psychic medium. And then it'll go. And then it'll come back. And my whole intent for this year, for self, and I want you guys to have this too, I want you to state with me, my intent for this year is to be in high vibration, is to achieve my hopes and goals solely, because this is your role, right? I will find my inner peace. I will find my happiness. I will find a grounded state of being, and I will invest my energy of what serves me. Okay, only. Everything that is meant to be for you will be there. It's true. We get scared because we think we've done something wrong. Inner child wounds, okay? You're not a bad person. You're allowed to have a need. Whoever you are, male or female, you are allowed to have a need. You are allowed to have a dream. Paint the dream, yes, through your previous findings. You may feel disillusioned because they've fallen short, but you are a very different person now. You are not the same person. You're not someone to mess with. But you're tired because you may feel disillusioned. It's okay to be disillusioned. It means your brain's working. You're going, okay, maybe I took some wrong steps here. Maybe I took a left turn. I was supposed to take a right turn. You can't turn time back, but what you do moving forward, you can. And if the laws of attraction are so, whatever is meant to be in your life is always going to be there. Okay? If you need to book a reading, like I said, I've left the special there because I know everyone collectively is broke. I have left the special there for your sake, that if you do need to have, you know, if you do want to talk to someone and you do want me to look at your astrology chart, give you some warnings about some of the things that are coming, how to look at it, how to navigate through. Yes, vibrationally is going to ease up. The Aries energy is going to move away. Venus is shifting. It's going into Taurus. So yes, our energy is going to be different, but you're wanting to see and paint and work on that dream. Okay. You're not eating. Ring of Scorpio. Has anyone ever seen Ring of Scorpio? That's just popped into mind. You know, because on also Lord of the Rings, you know, with the ring, Schmeigel. I keep saying that. Now, the reason I'm saying that is the Ring of Scorpio. This gentleman really shafted these two females, and they fell in love with him, and they didn't know that each other had a connection with this gentleman. And in the end, their revenge come back and they put him in a dungeon and they fed him burnt porridge. This is how a lot of people in their life are feeling. That they've been eating burnt porridge. Okay? Burnt porridge, no salt, no cream, nothing. You know, and it's, you know, Oliver Twist. Is it Oliver Twist? Please, sir, can I have some more? It's like, no. Many people are not at that vibration. Many people don't want to eat burnt porridge anymore. We've had burnt porridge. Now we've had Capricorn and Pluto for 12 years. It falls in the collective fourth house. Broke is because spiritually we're broke, right? That's the laws of attraction. Balance your chakras. Get to a point where you can place your energy into your creative energy. So I'll be honest with you, there are some readers out there that will talk about intimacy. Now, the intimate aspect of the chakra, if you have been bruised and abused in relationships, you are meant to go into a space of chastity, okay? The reason being is because you need to upgrade your auric field. You also need to get to a place where you re-energize that chakra and balance it. So solar plexus for the creative chakra, dancing, eating yellow food groups, getting some sunshine, moving and doing the meditation, turn it into a spiritual practice. Use your meditation in the morning, get into your vibration and tune into only what you can control. Then pour all your energy into you. No hanky-panky. All that energy into your world. If you have had that energy siphoned before you energetically have upgraded, you're depleting your auric field. You need to come to a place where you pour all your energy into you, where you get your finances in order, where you get your happiness in order. You are not seeking it outside of yourself. You are re-watering your garden. Water the garden, right? Then your power, your fair-based frequency, it is the sacral chakra. But again, it is where we manifest our cash component. And because we're doing it from a heart space, because it's our love, it's our passion, it's for us, you're then in unity with yourself, and the laws of attraction are you attract it. You do have control. So you need to sit quietly, get yourself grounded, tune out of all that is not serving you, and make an action plan and go, okay, what am I going to do? I'm going to balance these chakras. I'm going to wait, give it 2 days. Then you're going to spring into action. Be it you're going to create a resume and you're going to make it the most beautiful resume you want. Be it you're looking at a job that you thought you'd never apply for and have no ego connected to it. Make that resume to the point where it is able to service different industries. And then spread it out without an intention, no expectations. If it is, it is. If it is, it isn't. No need for it. All you're doing is what you directly can control. That's how you manifest. Because you're not in your fair-based frequency, you have no control over it. You're in awareness of that. All you're doing is what you can control, not what you can't. And within weeks, I guarantee you, things are going to start moving. If you're tuning into a relationship, but meantime your finances are crumbling, your home's crumbling, other relationships, your spirituality is crumbling, temporarily you need to shift the energy onto yourself. You need to anchor your energy in, and you need to do something to save yourself, okay? Then once you are in alignment, the laws of attraction are those people directly come towards you, but they have to come at the same equation. And if they're not, it won't work, because no matter what, nothing can hurt you. You have your home, you have your finances, you have your friends, you've got your spirituality. You are a whole human being. And then if you do something, you are not a victim. You are choosing to do something out of a choice. You are under no obligation or jurisdiction. You are choosing to do something because you choose to do it. You are not a victim. You have power. You need to use it. And I know it's deeply frustrating, especially if you have been doing it. And 9 times out of 10, another reason why this comes up is because you've been doing that for another person, but not for yourself. And then your ego is, but I did that for you, so why can't you do that for me? You never needed to do that for them. You chose to do that for them. Now choose not to. Choose to do for self first. And then if both energies are reciprocal at that level and you're both pushing into that honey jar, you're both putting coin in that honey jar, you're at a mutual level. And then you're not going to be mad at each other. You're choosing because you choose to do such. Does that make sense? And everyone's like, oh. Regarding intimacy, I was out walking my dog today. We came upon a car with the motor running. There seemed to be no one there. Glanced again. But see, if you're going through a spiritual awakening, I will say this. Your energy can be siphoned, and we do share energy. Okay, when you are psychic, it doesn't matter at an intimate level or whether it's at a psyche level, your energy is being siphoned. So a lot of us probably do need to wear hats at the moment to cover the third eye and the crown. I was looking outside and I've got an olive tree, and I shared it with Fem Coach and Deb Does Rates. I think her channel is. Sorry if I've got it wrong. Again, Neptune head. Now, in the traditional time, in battle, the olive leaves were worn on the crown. Now, spiritually speaking, we do use those to clear energies in houses in some cultures, but it also protects the crown. So it might be that you guys need to smudge your crown each day. Do breathing exercises. If you feel negativity in, breathe it out. It's going to pass. If you feel tired, don't do so much. Come back, get grounded, then focus your energy onto you. Only you at the moment, just for a week. That's all I'm asking. Just for a week, focus your energy onto you. What you directly have control over. If you're getting triggered, book a reading. I'll get you grounded and I'll give you some tips. You don't tune into them right now. I'm telling you, if their energy's coming through, and I do feel this, if you're tuning into a situation, if you're tuning into a human being, especially if you're a female and you're tuning into a male energy, however that be, or a person who's really stuck, you're absorbing their frequency. So you're directly emanating their vibration and it's coming through in your auric field. So a lot of this energy might not be your energy at all. It might be a purge occurring with other energies around you, but you're absorbing it. So you need to detox it. So water at the moment would help. And now my partner's calling me. Okay, so my suggestion is that I'll be back shortly and I will be doing the next video will be Virgo, and I do have a lovely lady. If I don't come back shortly, it will be at 12 o'clock. Love and light.